Hello and welcome to the latest Thunderbolt video. My name is Shane Ryan and I'm going to be taking a quick look at Gone Home. I've just booted this up for the first time, just gone into the options, played around in there a little bit, not actually had a look into it. I've not read any reviews. We've had one published on our website, got, high acclaim there, but I didn't read the review, and the reason for it is because it seems to be dividing people, and that always interests me. When I see a game get a load of 9s and 8s, I always get... generally it's probably a bit of a flaw on my part, but I always kind of avoid it, or put it off, because I think, well, you know what, it's probably going to be like things I've played before, because it's going to be highly refined, but that means it's not really taking any risks. But when you get a game that comes out and suddenly divides so many people where, people really dislike it, some people really love it, it means it's trying something somewhere, whether I'm going to enjoy it or not. It's all about those little experiences you go through. Same with any other medium, book or film. You've got to try everything out, find what you like along the way. So this has Gone Home, and let's get started.
Hi, Mom. So I got my ticket home from Europe. I get back on June 6th, but it's a really late flight because that was the cheapest, so it gets in at midnight. But don't worry, I'll get a shuttle from the airport so you don't have to pick me up. Like, really seriously, you don't have to. Okay, so love you. See you soon. Bye.
That was a refreshingly naturalistic voiceover for a video game then. It's like a 3D version of the Resident Evil inventory. Although I get a feel this will be a very different sort of game. And that's something that's popped up actually a lot in conversation about this, is the discussion of what constitutes a game. Again, going back to other mediums, if it's a film, if you put the film in, it loads up and it's just a film with a white wall for an hour, whether you like it or not, it's still a film. So I've booted this up, I'm moving, I'm interacting, it's a game regardless of what happens in it. Stuff doesn't have to blow up, although there might be explosions in this, you never know. I prefer if things didn't highlight. I don't mind the open door bit, but let me see if I can turn that off. Disable interaction highlight. Excellent, much better. Text I can live with, but things flashing is just grating.
Dear Katie, so much has changed, even just since you've been away. We moved into this house. I'm at a new school, and my big sister being gone for a year doesn't make it any easier. It doesn't feel real, but I'm not gonna let it faze me. I used to tell you everything, and if I can't do it in person, because you're off gallivanting around who knows where, I'll tell it to this journal, just like I was talking to you.
One thing I was going to say before that audio played then is, one thing I do love in video games, and perhaps it brings out some bad parts in faceless conversation, but is the way that it makes you interact. I think, you know, the race for the cinematic showboating, it forgets that video games is all about interaction, even in the most limited form of Pong and stuff. So in real life, if you walked into a house, you wouldn't just walk in and go, oh look, I'm just going to turn the tap on and turn away and walk away. But you've always been playful in video games, so I always find it as a treat. Zoom in there. We can do stuff. I guess it's part of why I appreciate Duke Nukem 3D after all this time. Nope.
Sam. Sam. Hello. Sam.
I guess I got the names engraved below just in case you forget.
Really? I need to talk to you. Please be there. Sam. Sam.
Don't I can restart from where I was. I've said this before, one thing I'd like to see soon is more... It's 2 AM to check location house. More physical interaction with things when you're picking up notes or you're walking around or like... Well, it feels jarring when you look down, there's nothing there, you're just a floating camera like a ghost.
Oh my god. You are so lucky you finished high school before we moved into this house. So, it's the first day of school, and there I am, introducing myself to the class, and I say that I just moved into the house on Arbor Hill. All of a sudden, every kid in the room turns and just stares like I suddenly transformed into a mutant. I just stood there, wishing pretty hard for a rewind button. Because now maybe nobody knows my name, but they all know who I am. The Psycho House girl. Great.
Someone's been getting into conspiracy theories. With David Icke book next. Oh. I love those old type of antique seats. Maybe he's just doing research. Can't be doing books like that. Oh, 451. Going back to the book there, I do hope the idea that it's playing on the fact in video games everything's exposition all the time with no depth. So the idea you come in and look at all this and just presume maybe that someone's into that and it's actually research would be clever, unless it turns out he was actually is into all that. I'm just giving credit where it wasn't supposed to be due. I think that was right. Got distracted. .51. Does he can run, or at least pick up the pace beyond a eerily chilled stroll. 0451. Someone's taking the VCR out in a rush.
Residents are strongly urged to stay in.
We're having a little party.
Secure all windows and doors. Flood conditions are expected at lower elevation.
Again, I presume that's just placed to try and give the notion it's going to go supernatural when it won't. Better not. It's always a cheap way out.
You know that feeling where the first moment you see someone, it's like they have a big gold star around them, and you have to get to know them? Well, there's this girl. I think she's a senior. She's usually dressed kind of punk, but sometimes I see her in this, like, army uniform, and she's always drawing in this notebook, looking so intense. I had no idea how I would ever, have an excuse to talk to her. Till I noticed she and her friends hang out and play Street Fighter at the 7-Eleven every day after school.
X-Files, one of the best TV series of all time. is not punk. I don't think I've been this way yet.
Somehow I always knew that someday we'd be through.
Serious collection.
Now that it's happened, I just can't. I've done the best I could to keep from feeling blue. Can't get you off my mind. What am I gonna
Voodoo, mildew, and shandu.
Why, Daddy, I didn't know you were.
I'm right here looking at you, honey.
Looks like you also had
Do you think I sent you far away
I ain't been nowhere.
from me? I thought you'd stay away from me.
Try to cut.
But hopelessly you got me back.
Looks like he had a successful book, didn't work out, and now he's doing reviews of VCRs that he doesn't like doing.
Thought I'd give the grace for you.
And all the spare copies knocking about.
Your kisses keep on haunting me.
It's a pretty big house. Maybe it's just because in England everything's so small.
So you know what they say about the best laid plans of mice and men? Yeah, turns out it applies to Street Fighter too. At least I worked up the courage to walk into the 7-Eleven and ask for a turn, but all that practice at home did not exactly translate in the wild. So after I was finished getting my butt kicked, I followed them outside while they smoked. And that was when she asked me if I was that psycho house girl. But then she said she's always really wanted to see the psycho house. Her name is Lonnie. She's coming over tomorrow.
Try and get to the attic. Right then, this is going to bring us to the end of this quick look video. If you want to read more, you can head over to thunderboltgames.com and check out our review by Matt Sorey. I'm going to carry on playing this myself. We're going to have a podcast up soon on this. You can check out Thundercast on the website or alternatively on iTunes. This has been a Thunderbolt video. My name's Shane Ryan, and goodbye.